Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the National Oratory Festival here at the beautiful historic Ford's Theater. This is birthday girl and New York State History Teacher of the Year, Betty McAdoo-Haynes.
Oh, thank you. And the wonderful and fabulous Lisa Romeo.
Betty, you know, honest Abe wouldn't tell a lie, and neither will we. This is going to be a spectacular afternoon.
Well, 47 minutes ago, we were invited to be the MC, so let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Teachers from across the nation have worked with their students this year, creating speeches, both personal and historic, with the theme of the struggle to be seen and the fight to be heard. And let us tell you, there is nothing more powerful than a middle schooler with a microphone.
Words help us face down impossible odds. They tell our deepest hopes and fears. Words can take us to space. They remind us of where we've been, where we can go.
They can sound an alarm, tell cautionary tales, and take us to the mountaintop. Words have power.
Today we ask that you open your minds and hearts as you listen to the words and stories of our student delegates and fellows. Today,
they will invite you into their world to ask to be seen and to be heard. So please sit back, relax, be present, and let the power of words light the way into a brighter tomorrow. Thank you.
My name is David Sun, and I'm presenting an original speech titled, Time to Shine Together. I am short, not just in stature, but in my abilities, or so I believed. With my quiet voice and shaky sound, I was always placed in the back row of my choir. The taller, more experienced singers stood in the front, capturing the spotlight. I desperately wanted to be seen. I sang with all my might, pushing my voice as far as it could go. But no matter how loudly I sang, I remained invisible. I had to stand on a stool just to be seen, yet my voice and emotions still went unheard. One day, after a discouraging rehearsal, I felt defeated. That's when a stronger singer sat beside me. He had always been confident, powerful, everything I wanted to be. But instead of dismissing me, he offered a hand. You can only grow if you fight, he said. Not with others, but with yourself. His words struck me. True growth required more than just making your voice louder. It required understanding, discipline, and persistence. And with the words of Carl Dweck beside me, value what you're doing, regardless of the outcome, I took his advice to heart. I focused on learning how to sing with emotion rather than just force. Finally, my fight spoke for itself. Months of work later, I was placed in the front row, where my voice was heard first. No stool required. This experience taught me more than just my own fight. It taught me to see the struggle of others, to inspire, to connect, and to lift up those who felt invisible, just like I once did. Our country thrives when we inspire others to stand tall, not just in stature, but in their abilities. So together, we must champion every struggle to be seen and every fight to be heard. Thank you. Hello, My name is Scarlett Bryan, and today I will be performing The Fundamental Principle of a Republic by Anna Howard Shaw. 21 years ago, I came here with Susan B. Anthony for the same purpose as that for which we are here tonight. Women are still trying to persuade American men in the fundamental principles of democracy, that a republic, which claims to be a republic, should be a republic and not an aristocracy. One of the two things is true. Either a republic is a desirable form of government, or else it is not. If it is, then we should have it. If it is not, then we ought not to pretend that we have it. We ought at least to be true to our ideals. What is a republic? A form of government in which the laws are enacted by representatives elected by the people. When did the people of New York ever elect their representatives? Never. The men of New York have, and I grant you that men are people, but they only go halfway. There is still another half of the people who have not elected representatives, and you never heard of a republic in which half of the people elect representatives to govern the whole of the people. That is an aristocracy. We have been many kinds of aristocracies. We have been a hierarchy of church members, an aristocracy of wealth, then an oligarchy of sex. We women do not want the ballot in order that we may fight, but we do want the ballot in order that we may help men to keep from fighting. Whether it is in war or in peace, whether it is in the home or in the state. Just as the home is not without the man, so the state is not without the woman. And you can no more build up the home without men than you can build up the state without women. It is the fundamental principle of a Republican form of government. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mika Ki, and today I am presenting an original speech titled Practicing Empathy Through Storytelling. I believe that fiction can help us connect with one another. One of the best ways to solve a problem is with understanding and respect. Let's say you have a disagreement with someone. If you try to see things from their perspective, you can at least respect that person's ideas, which allows you to have a much more thought-out solution. One of the most valuable tools that humanity has to explore differing opinions is storytelling. It's been around for thousands of years, imitating real life and helping people unite with each other. I participate in my school musical each year, and being middle schoolers and drama kids, it's expected that everyone isn't always going to get along with each other. And yet, by the end of it all, everyone is hugging and trying to hold back tears when most of the cast didn't even know each other a year ago. We spend half a year creating a shared understanding of a story, and even just for a few days during our performances, we come together and celebrate our connection. A connection that I doubt you can find quite as strong anywhere without storytelling. Looking at different points of view through storytelling can push you to have a more diverse view of the world, which helps you develop empathy and connect with people. One study from the National Library of Medicine found that fiction reading causes empathetic skills to increase over time when the reader becomes emotionally transported into the story. This shows that we can gain the skills we need to be kind from fiction. Hearing stories can help us explore different ways of living and thinking that help us grow to be more open to other people and their opinions. So let's all read, watch, listen to, and tell stories. Let's share our emotions and experiences through storytelling. Let's all connect. Thank you for your time.
I'm Mia Sullivan, and I will be performing an original speech called Did I Stutter? Good afternoon. I have a stutter, and my name is Mia Sullivan. I introduce myself to you this way because most often that is what people see first, my stutter. I've experienced sometimes people think that I should feel invisible because I have a stutter. I've experienced people mocking me, others finish my sentences thinking they're doing me a favor, or run from the conversation entirely when I stutter. While these people mean well, what they're actually doing is taking my voice. Recently, I've been interested in answering the question, why am I like this? Why do I stutter? So I went to my school speech therapist and eventually figured out that my stutter started right after the COVID pandemic. Most of us can attest to having gone through traumatic events. Sometimes traumatic events can cause speech disfluencies, which is what happened to me. It all makes sense now. I never thought that I would say this, but having a stutter has helped me grow as a person. On one hand, sometimes it lowers my confidence, but on the other hand, this has felt like a gift because it has made me more aware of the world around me. It showed me how much the little things matter, like rude comments, not just to me, but to other people too. But having a stutter hasn't changed important things about me. It's part of me, but not all of me. However, we struggle to be seen because it seems like we're just your typical middle school kids. But in the end, we are so much more than that. It is the adversity that we have faced that's made us who we are. It is time to be unapologetically you. We need to fight to be heard and show people who we really are, which takes time, effort, and especially courage. Some students think their future is so far away and they don't have to worry about it, but now is the time to find your true self. The future isn't after you graduate school or college. The future is now. We need to care, but we also need to enjoy life, to find out who you're meant to be, make ourselves heard, get involved not just in clubs or sports, but in your life. Lastly, I want to thank every one of you for being here, supporting not just me, but every delegate here today. I am Mia Sullivan, and yes, I have a stutter, but it will never silence my voice. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Kaitlin Bridges, and today I brought with me an original speech. It's called Thank You, 7th grade. 7th grade, I thought would be fun, but now it's almost done, and there is no going back. It was a dread, but now it's the end of my 7th grade life. The stress has left, like I left my hometown. I now know who I am and who I love. I'm the girl who grew up in California, but moved to a place where she belongs. The people I love are from here, and even the place I hate most of all. I still cry after what happened to me in the place I hate and what he did to me. The silence hurt, but I can't hate him because I know him, the real him. I look at you and wonder what's running through your head, but I know I'm far beyond your reach. So I still cry on the inside, but on the outside, I stay strong. And no matter what, I wish for the best. He may have broken my heart, but he ain't the first. And let me tell you, he won't be the last. I may be different, but aren't we all? I guess that's what makes us unique after all. I may still cry while you laugh away. But remember, there are worse things to say. 7th grade taught me a lot about who I want to be and taught me to always look at the best in people, even if they bullied you. See, people may be rude on the outside, but that ain't what's on the inside. Don't judge anyone until you know them, because everyone is different when you really know them. We all thought the best, but what was the best is gone, and it ain't coming back. Just keep believing, because that's all that really matters, even when it's gone. It's hard to say goodbye. Even for me, I still cry when I have to say goodbye, because it might be the last time you see one of your loved ones. 7th grade, I still hate you, but you are very valuable to me, because without you, I won't be the person I am today. So I thank you, 7th grade. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Brandon Lasher. I am a teacher at Cal Young Middle School in Eugene, Oregon. As long as I can remember, I've been an introvert, and it hasn't been easy. I've had people call me rude, cold, uncaring. I had people yell at me because I couldn't maintain eye contact. I even had a boss turn me down for a leadership opportunity because, quote, no other employee recommended you and you need to figure out why. Now, these experiences stay with you, and I couldn't figure out a way out of my shyness. That is until college. I was taking a speech class and they recommended I join the speech team, and it changed my life. For the next 4 years, I competed at the University of Oregon. And then after college, I became a speech coach. Now, public speaking was a safe place, but 10 years ago, my school district cut our funding and I felt lost. Until I received word of the National Oratory Fellows Program, a place celebrating public speaking, a chance to take students to Washington, D.C. Sounded like a dream come true. Now, I didn't know what to expect at my first August pre-treat. I arrived at dinner, I met all the fellows for the first time, and then the very next morning, I received a lovely gift of food poisoning. But I kept coming back and was super excited to finally get a Ford shirt last May. Now, the back of that shirt was supposed to show where everyone came from in the entire country. Well, except for mine. Mine supported the greatest mariachi band in the state of Florida. I asked myself at this point, why do I keep coming back? Why deal with food poisoning, early morning flights, bruised kneecaps, and misprinted shirts? For two important reasons. One is because of my Ford's Oratory Fellows. As I suffered from that food poisoning, they wrote nice, kind words of encouragement. Every time I come back, they give the best hugs. They've even invited me time and time again to explore this beautiful city. They accept me for who I am and where I am. This introvert was looking for a place to get back into public speaking, but I found a family too. And I found a space for my students too. Taking 2 students last year to Washington, D.C. was the proudest moment of my teaching career. Seeing a student go from not even speaking in the classroom in 6th grade to excelling on the National Mall and on this Ford's Theater stage, well, that feeling can't be duplicated. Well, maybe this year as well, too. So, I wanted to express my love and appreciation for all of you. As I've spent my life struggling to be heard, I finally found my place. May we all be so lucky. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abby Daniels, and I'm giving an original speech titled Women's Empowerment. I will begin this speech with a moment of reflection for all the women and girls killed in warfare and conflicts that are not of their making. Wars and contentions are eroding the decades of investments in gender equality and women's empowerment. From the Middle East to Sudan, Iraq, Ukraine, Afghanistan, and other war-torn countries, women pay the biggest price of conflicts. The need for peace has never been more urgent. We acknowledge women everywhere who strive to bring peace every day, who are human rights activists, and who lead and fight for change. Today, we see a world hobbled by confrontation, fragmentation, fear, and most of all, inequality. Persistent poverty gaps continue to exist worldwide, and women bear an increasingly heavy burden. 1 in every 10 women in the world lives in extreme poverty. Men dominate the corridors of power. It is only by investing in women and girls that we will meet the challenges we face, whether they're economic, conflict, or climate related. Where women are equally represented in government, governance thrives. When more women are economically empowered, economies grow. Where women have a bigger say in peace processes, peace is found sooner and is more durable. But in spite of these clear facts, we continue to stubbornly invest in weapons more than we invest in women and girls. When we invest in comprehensive care systems, we are investing in women, communities, societies, and economies. This can also increase the number of decent care jobs, potentially creating almost 300 million jobs by 2035. The future presents many opportunities to centrally place gender equality across discussions on development, financing, technology, and security. I will end my remarks with a call for all of us to be the light that brings hope and that accelerates progress towards an equal, sustainable, and peaceful future for every woman and for every girl everywhere. I know that together it is within our reach. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anel Flores, and I will be presenting a speech titled Body Image by Lily Reinhart. We exist in a world today where everything we faked or fixed. Noses can be changed, and stomachs can be tightened, and cellulite can be lasered away. Apparently, because that's what we are told to do, which is alter ourselves in order to be beautiful. People told me I didn't have the right to talk about being self-conscious about my body because I was skinny. And I understand how it seems inappropriate for someone who's average size to talk about problems of weight gain. But my point is, I didn't think anything was wrong with my body until I was in an industry that rewards and praises people for having a smaller waist than I will ever have. I think about when I have kids in the future, and will my daughter be self-conscious about gaining weight? Will she feel the need to explain her body or justify it to anyone as it changes? Will she feel the same need now to apologize, the same need that I do now to apologize to her peers and say, my body doesn't usually look like this, or I'm just a little heavier than usual right now? How utterly ridiculous is that we even had to think about explaining the nature of our bodies to other people? But it's because we don't want them to judge us. We aren't born with these insecurities. We are told to be insecure about certain things. We're all imperfectly beautiful, so let's embrace that. There's a massive worldwide community of women who are rooting for beauty to be recognized in every shape and color that we come in. There's no fine print. It can be naturally beautiful with acne or scars, cellulite or curves. So let's celebrate each other and ourselves as we are, as we will be, and as we're meant to be. Unique and perfect, beautiful, and so incredibly powerful. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Null, and I will be performing an original speech. Let our alarms ring. How annoying are alarms? They're loud, obnoxious, and they always go off at the worst times. I know mine does. I bet most of you have heard my alarm go off at least once this weekend. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and my alarm goes off to help keep me safe and beeps whenever I am low and need a snack, or when my blood sugar is high and I need insulin. That alarm sounds loud and clear. According to Merriam-Webster, alarm is a warning of danger. But what else can an alarm be? Can it be a warning sign or even an emotion? A bad feeling about someone or something. Be like the growl of an animal. When does your alarm go off? Is it when you see someone littering? When you see someone being bullied or picked on? What else makes your alarm go off? Climate change? Pollution? the danger of species going extinct in our lifetime, the threat of war, the danger of having another pandemic? Does that scare you? Does that make your alarm go off? It's okay if these things scare you. They scare all of us. But alarms are useless if we ignore them and do nothing about them. One thing we can do is use our voice to sound the alarm for others. With that said, we should also listen to the alarms of others. Even though alarms can make us uncomfortable and might feel just easier to just hit snooze, it's not the right thing to do. Our alarms need to ring. It starts with us. Listen to your own alarm and the alarms of others. Take action and never silence anyone's alarm. Thank you.
I'm Claire Miller, and this is my original speech, The Deadly Cost of Life. If insulin keeps 7.4 million people alive, why is the price so deadly? Most diabetics depend on insulin, which is why we need to lobby lawmakers to put a cap on the prices. Not only that, but there are ginormous markups. People are rationing insulin, and company CEOs are making more money than you've ever seen. We all know that marking up the price of an item is how a company makes money. The grocery store may mark up a product about 75%. However, this is not true with insulin. Insulin can be made from anywhere between $2 to $6 per vial. Yet it's being made from anywhere between $80 and $350 without insurance. That is over 2,000%. And sure, it's a free market, but what's the need for such a high cost on a product people literally depend on for life? Many diabetics ration insulin because it is extremely expensive, and it makes it hard for the average American household to afford. According to Atavia Worsham, her insulin and supplies cost her over $1,000 a month. For some, that may be affordable, but for others, it's the cost of life or death. Big pharmaceutical company CEOs make about $25 million per year. That's 308 times the average American household. And although they do make helpful medicines, they should be made for the people and not for the profit. In a world where basic needs are already through the roof, we have made it harder for those who need insulin to survive. With supplies costing over $1,000 a month in 2,000% markups, the problems are clearly rooted in greed. It's time for laws to make sure this travesty ends. While diabetes can be deadly, it shouldn't be for the price. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Paige Shummy, and I will be performing an original speech called The Right to Repair. Americans have always been proud that they can fix their own equipment, whether it's cars, lawnmowers, or even your cell phone. If something breaks, we've always been able to fix it ourselves or send it to our preferred mechanic. Unfortunately, that very right is being taken away by big companies like John Deere, Apple, Google, and many more, who are specializing their equipment so only their mechanics can fix it. Some states are trying to help this issue by passing the right to repair laws. The right to repair laws are exactly what they say they are. It's your right to repair your own equipment. But as of 2022, only 27 states have passed these laws. Unfortunately, locally owned businesses that are not in those 27 states are struggling. They cannot get the parts they need to keep their doors open. Could you imagine having to turn away paying customers because you're not allowed access to the parts to work on their equipment? Small businesses are the backbone of America. According to Jamie Robinson, small businesses contribute to 43.5% of GDP, yet only half survive the first 5 years. We lose 1 million small businesses annually. Another issue that comes with big companies not being inclusive is equipment cost. Nowadays, it costs way more than it used to. Sure, you get more high-tech things, but the more tech they add, the harder it gets to repair it yourself. Now you have to go to the dealership where they use OEM parts, which cost more than aftermarket parts. Some may say OEM parts are made from original manufacturers, so they're better quality. While that may be true, aftermarket parts are usually made the same and usually have the same quality and cost much less. Like I said before, repairing your own equipment is a time-honored tradition in America. As Bryce Dummy says, I understand that not everybody has the ability or desire to repair or service their own equipment, but it still should be their choice whether or not to do so. Freedom of choice is part of the American dream, and that needs to be protected. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Angie. I'm a 5th grade teacher from West Virginia. Every year, I tell my students the story of my journey out of a life of poverty, abuse, and neglect, of how music saved me. Ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes. My family fell down when I was in 1st grade. How did I deal with this trauma? By crying. I was the best crier in the school. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but soon found my 6-year-old self leading our church congregation in singing while old Louis Belt pounded out hymns on the piano. The beauty and message of the music were my escape from the brokenness of our home. Anything you can do, I can do better. Singing that solo in our school program gave me the confidence to use my voice. And the trumpets, they go, do, 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 do. Trumpet playing was added to my repertoire. Band directors, Mr. and Mrs. J, secretly purchased a Bach Stradivarius trumpet for me, and that launched my musical achievements. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do what, do what, do what, do what, do what. You can do whatever you want with your life, Angie. Look how far you've come. The sky is the limit, Mrs. J wrote in my yearbook. That little trumpet was my ticket out of poverty and a toxic home. I thrived at Marshall University. Performing in various bands and ensembles kept me grounded enough to earn a college degree and begin a teaching career. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. Many years later, the transition to empty nester left a dark hole in my heart. Then a friend invited me to start playing again. That trumpet didn't just give me a sound, it gave me identity, purpose, and a way forward. My struggle to be seen and fight to be heard is not about music, it's about resilience. Find that thing in your life that gives you strength in the struggle and fuels your fight to rise from the ashes. Hold on to it tightly and never let it go. This is my fight song, take back my life song. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sarah Noor Islam, and I'm presenting an original speech titled Words Have Power. Today, I want to talk to you about something many of us have faced, bullying. You see, words have power. They can lift you up or tear you down. What if I told you that your words could change the world? Not someday, but today, right now. Imagine standing in the lunchroom, tray in hand, searching for a seat. You finally see one spot open, but when you ask to sit down, the group looks at you, laughs, and says, "You can't sit here." So you turn away, heart sinking, pretending like it doesn't hurt, but it does. You sit alone while their whispers echo in your ears. That's how their words made me feel, like I didn't belong. And I'm not alone. According to the National Center for Educational Statistics, 1 in 5 students report being bullied at school. That means in every classroom, kids feel the way I did, left out, hurt, and alone. Day after day, I sat alone wondering, what's wrong with me? Words flew like arrows, meant to hurt. They teased me for my height, my glasses, my braces, my skin color, and even my name, which represents my religion. Their words didn't just hurt in the moment. They stuck to me like heavy shadows I couldn't shake. That's the power that words have. They don't just disappear. They leave scars that you don't see. For a long time, I let those words define me. I believed I wasn't good enough to sit at that table until one day I did it. And I decided to rise. I decided that no one gets to tell me who I am or what I'm worth. When I realized I could choose how to respond, everything changed, and so did I. So I stood tall and started to repeat the wise words of Dr. Seuss. Why fit in when you were born to stand out? And you know what? The more I repeated those words, I started to believe them. And then something even more powerful happened. I realized I wasn't the only one who felt alone. I saw other kids sitting by themselves, staring at their trays, just like I used to. So I made it my mission to invite them to my table. I wanted my words to do what theirs didn't, to make others feel seen, heard, and included. As I found my strength, I realized I wasn't just standing up for myself, I was standing up for others too. For kids like my little sister, who might one day face the same cruelty, she deserves to grow up in a world where kindness drowns out the cruel words of bullies. Let me tell you what my mom always says. Your words are your superpower. Every time we speak, we make a choice. Words can be a weapon or a gift, depending on how we choose to use them. What if I told you that every word we spoke spread kindness like a wildfire? What if our words helped others see their own light and positivity became contagious? Think of the extraordinary changes we could make together. Remember, words can ignite a revolution. Words can spark hope. Words can build bridges. That's the world I want my words to help create. A world where kind words win every single time. So the next time you speak, remember this. Words have power. Use them wisely because they can change a life, they can change the world, they changed mine. Let's use our words to create that change. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Anika Veno, and I will be presenting an original speech titled Just One Person. Imagine a world where everyone was exactly the same. Diversity makes the world more beautiful, like different colored flowers on a meadow. But some people don't feel the same. Some people don't value diversity. These people can have a hatred of others because of their religion, gender, or race. A hatred so strong that it makes some want to destroy every single person unlike them. This can result in a genocide. The most infamous genocide is the Holocaust, and was the terrible, tragic tale that was the outcome of the unreasonable hatred of Jews by just one person, Adolf Hitler. World War II is a perfect example of how one man's actions of hatred can cause unimaginable destruction. Hitler captured thousands of Jews and placed them in concentration camps. He tore families apart, killed the weak, and enslaved the rest. To escape, a young girl of 11 years went into hiding in an attic. And that one person gave us inspiring words of hope despite the sorrow around her. She was Anne Frank. In her diary, she wrote, "I don't think of all the misery, but of the beauty that still remains." Although she was being hunted for who she was, she had it in her heart to give and receive love because she believed in a beautiful world. The change starts with just one person, and that person can be you. Together, we can take a step to choose love. In the spirit of Anne Frank, nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. Let's start right now by accepting one another so we can live in a diverse world and eliminate hatred for all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ava Witrock. I will be doing a historical speech by Elizabeth Cady Stanton called The Solitude of Self. We ask for women a voice in government under which she lives, and in religion she is asked to believe, equality in social life where she is the chief factor, a place in trades and professions where she may earn her bread because of her birthright to self-sovereignty, because as an individual, she must rely on herself. In youth, our most bitter disappointments, our brightest hopes and ambitions are known only to ourselves. Even our friendship and our love, we never fully share with another. There is something of every passion and every situation we conceal. To throw obstacles in the way of complete education is like putting out the eyes. To deny the rights of property is like cutting off their hands. To deny political equality is to rob the ostracized of all self-respect, of a voice in those who make and administer the law, of a choice in those and before whom they are tried, and in the judge who decides their punishment. Which suddenly aroused at midnight with a startling cry of fire, fire, to find the house over their heads in flames. Do women wait for men to point the way to safety? The talk of sheltering women from the fiercest storms of life is the sheerest mockery. Such is individual life, who I ask you, dare to take upon himself the rights, the duties, and responsibilities of another human soul. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kate Mankus, and I am performing a historical speech by Lucy Stone called A Disappointed Woman. From the first years to which my memory stretches, I have been a disappointed woman. When, with my brothers, I reached for the sources of knowledge, I was told, "Isn't fit for you. It doesn't belong to women." Then there was but one college in the world where women were admitted, in Brazil. I would have found my way there, but by the time I was prepared to go, one opened in the United States, where women could enjoy opportunities with white men. I was disappointed when I came to seek a profession worthy of an immortal being. Every employment was closed to me, except the teacher, the seamstress, and the housekeeper. In education, in marriage, in religion, in everything, disappointment is the lot of women. It shall be the business of my life to deepen this disappointment in every woman's heart until she bows down to it no longer. I wish that women, instead of begging of their fathers and brothers of the latest and gayest new bonnet, would ask of them their rights. The question of women's rights is a practical one. The notion has prevailed that it was only a fleeting idea, that it was just women claiming the right to smoke cigars in the streets and to visit frequent barrooms. Others have supposed it a question of comparative intellect. Trace all the teachings to their source, and they will be found to have no basis except in the usages and preconceptions of the age. This is in the fact that what is tolerated in one country is not tolerated in another. I have confidence in the Father to believe that when he gives us the capacity to do anything, he does not make it a blunder. Leave women then to find their sphere. And do not tell us before we are born even that our province is to cook dinners and sew on buttons. Thank you.
I'm Otis Strapp, and this is the Cardigan Mountain School commencement speech by Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts. From time to time, in the years to come, I hope you will be treated unfairly, so you will come to know the value of justice. I hope you will suffer betrayal, because that will teach you the importance of loyalty. I hope you will be lonely from time to time, so that you don't take friends for granted. I wish you bad luck from time to time, so that you will be conscious of the role of chance in life and understand that your success is not completely deserved, and that the failure of others is not completely deserved either. And when you lose, as you will from time to time, I hope every now and then your opponent will gloat over your failure. It is a way for you to understand the importance of sportsmanship. I hope you'll be ignored so that you'll come to know the importance of listening to others. And I hope you'll have just enough pain to learn compassion. Whether I wish these things or not, they're going to happen, and whether you benefit from them or not will depend upon your ability to see the message in your misfortunes. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anna, and I'm an ELA teacher in South Carolina. Imagine for a second someone asks you a simple question such as, what is your name? For most, that's an easy question to answer. For some, that is the first word we learned how to say. While it is not seen, I often have to fight to be heard. My thoughts race, my heart pounds, and when I open my mouth to speak, my words often do not come out. This is the reality for many who face a challenge of a speech impediment. The struggle to be seen and the fight to be heard is not only about words, it is about identity, expression, and connection. In that moment when I'm fighting with myself through a verbal block to make myself heard, it feels as though the world watches, waiting for clarity that is out of my reach. It's a struggle that can make me feel invisible, as if my voice is lost. As the heat begins to sweep across my face and the anxiety inside begins to rage, I feel as if invisibility is what I would like to feel, not the giant spotlight that seems to creep across my face as others wait for my voice with sympathetic eyes to learn my identity. Do not feel sorry for me. I want to scream. Though my speech may not be as smooth, my thoughts are rich and vibrant with color. Waiting to be seen, and most importantly, waiting to be heard. Each stutter, each pause, each verbal block is part of a story waiting to be told. It is a testament to my resilience, my determination to communicate, and my refusal to let a challenge define me. A fight to be heard and a fight to express myself. We live in a society that often prioritizes fluency over authenticity. We must remember that every voice matters, regardless of how it sounds. Each of us has a unique perspective to share, a contribution to make, a story worth telling. We must work for spaces where all voices can be heard, where the rhythm, tone, and a connection to be made rather than be judged. So I urge you all to listen. Listen not to the words spoken, but to the emotions behind them. We must understand that the struggle to be seen and the fight to be heard is a battle that we all fight, not only those of us who struggle with our words. Together, we can work to create a world where our identities are expressed in a way that encourages deliberate connection. So one day, everyone can begin to feel confident in their ability to say big things, small things, and something as simple as their name. My name is Anna Boyd, and it is my hope that one day we all have the confidence to be seen and heard. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sophia Dumand, and I will be presenting an original speech called Why Do We Romanticize Violence? Violence, by definition, is the use of force so as to injure, abuse, damage, or destroy. Of course, violence has other meanings. They all seem to come down to one thing: destruction. Think about it. Why do we enjoy our favorite superheroes as much as we do? Is it to see them annihilate the villain? Or is it to see them help those in need? My 4th grade sister has been telling me things about her peers. It seems to be that the level of maturity in her grade is higher than it was when I was in 4th grade. A culprit to this maturity is that they have a greater exposure to mature online content. For children, exposure to this violence at a young age can corrupt their minds, as their barrier between reality and fiction is very thin. According to HealthyChildren.org, a website founded by the American Academy of Pediatrics, television programs, video and computer games, internet content, and movies frequently show graphic acts of violence. When children view this content, it can affect them just as much as a real-life experience. If we avoid overexposure to media violence, we can improve not only the overall mental health of children and adults, but also decrease the risk of anxiety and depression. It's up to you to protect yourself from the romanticization of violence. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chloe Brown, and I'll be presenting a speech called How Dare You by Greta Thunberg. My message is that we'll be watching you. This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet, you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you come here saying that you're doing enough when the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight? You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency, but no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil. And that I refuse to believe. The popular idea of cutting our emissions in half in 10 years only gives us a 50% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees, and the risk of setting irreversible chain reactions beyond human control. So if 50% risk is simply not acceptable to us, we who have to live with the consequences. You are failing us. But the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you fail us, I say we will never forgive you. We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now, is where we draw the line, whether you like it or not. And change is coming, whether you like it or not. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Peter Martell, and I'm doing the address at Rice University on the nation's space effort by John F. Kennedy. Those who came before us made certain that this country rode the first waves of the Industrial Revolutions, the first waves of modern invention, and the first wave of nuclear power. And this generation does not intend to founder the backwash of the coming age of space. We mean to be a part of it. We mean to lead it. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon and to the planets beyond. And we have vowed that we shall not seek governed by a hostile flag of conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace. We have vowed that we shall not see space filled with weapons of mass destruction, but with instruments of knowledge and understanding. But why, some say, the moon? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one that we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win. The growth of our science and education will be enriched by new knowledge of our universe and environment, by new techniques of learning and mapping and observation, by new tools and computers for industry, medicine, the home, as well as the school. Many years ago, the great British explorer George Mallory, who was to die on Mount Everest, was asked why did he want to climb it. He said, because it is there. Well, space is there, and we are going to climb it. And the moon and the planets are there. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Roxy Trombly, and this is Courage to Let Go by aerial artist Cassandra Pavlik. There are 3 moves I think we all can relate to in life, and they are the cocoon, the neck spin, and the bullet drop. Now, the cocoon is exactly what you picture it to be. You're wrapped up in these silks, and the audience can't see you. You cannot see the audience. But you're moving about your body, making different artistic shapes within this cocoon. And it's inspiring and it's beautiful to watch. Now, like in life, sometimes we need to hide from the world and maybe figure things out, to reflect, relax, and contemplate what to do next. In there, you will find stillness, but not for long. Sometimes this cocoon is on purpose. Sometimes it's not. But it is where you'll find safety and security. Now, you may make shapes within this cocoon, and those shapes may be that of fear, anxiety, anger, bitterness, stress, resentment, humbleness, and healing. And with healing begins transition, because eventually you must come out of your shell, out of your comfort zone, and begin anew. A new chapter awaits, and from there, your journey begins. The cocoon. Now, the neck spin starts off slowly and gradually gets faster and faster and faster, but it's only done perfectly if your center is found while spinning. Now, the next spin in life can emulate the overwhelming anxieties and stress of this world we live in the chaos. And we live in a very stressful world. However, finding center is a way of coping with that stress and anxiety. The center is a way to stay calm in the storm. Thank you.
I'm Evan Wallally, and this is the University of Pennsylvania commencement speech by Denzel Washington. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." I'm sure in your experiences, people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on, but I've never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. At least I figure that way I'll see what I'm about to hit. Fall forward. Here's what I mean. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that because 1001 was a light bulb. Fall forward.
Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks. Thank you.
What an afternoon.
That wasn't public speaking, that was public wowing.
Goodness. Yes. To our fellows and student delegates, we hear you loud and clear, and we see you with open hearts and open minds.
We'd like to say a few thank yous to some of the people that helped make this celebration so wonderful. First off, we'd like to thank the National Park Service for their dedication and hard work in preserving the beautiful spaces that we were fortunate enough to be in this weekend. And a special shout out to Ranger Jen, who always illuminates us with her stories and answers all of our questions.
Next, we offer the Ford's Theater Society our deepest appreciation and gratitude for their support of the Ford's Theater National Oratory Fellowship Program, a life-changing and inspiring program to so many. Thanks to everyone at Ford's, all the teaching artists, all the staff that work tirelessly to keep this program thriving. Thank you also to the loved ones who are here to hear us today.
And last but certainly not least, a big round of applause to our teachers on the beginning of Teachers Appreciation Week. We thank you for bringing your student delegates here to share their words with us. We also thank our other fellows who have pitched in and helped us out all weekend long.
Thank you.
As we leave today, may we take these powerful, powerful words, sprinkle them like glitter throughout our communities.
Until next year.
Thank you.